Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm PassioKnit Kelsie. Today I want to try some new yarn that I've been seeing around on Instagram mostly, but around. So I am totally a fan of granny squares. I love a good granny square project, okay? I think that they are beautiful. I love the stitch. I love making stuff with the granny stitch. I think it's fast, but you know, I love it. I know some people hate it, but I am totally a big fan. And recently I've been seeing this yarn from Red Heart. It's brand new, and it is a multicolored granny square all-in-one skein. So basically, like, you know how when you're making a granny square, if you want it to be different colors, you'd have to do a row of one color, cut your yarn, tie it off, start your next color for the next row, cut your yarn, tie it off, so on and so forth, you know. But apparently this yarn is specially colored so that you can make a granny square and it perfectly will align with the amount of yarn you need for each row. And I think that is the coolest thing ever. So I need to try it. I need to try it right now. As soon as I saw, like, the first ad that I saw for it on my Instagram feed, I was like, I need this in my life right now. So we're gonna buy some, obviously, okay? And you may be thinking, like, why hasn't this been made before? And I think it's because it's pretty difficult, I want to say. I feel like you would have to have quite a bit of planning on the dye portion of the yarn because, like I said, it goes with each round of the granny square, and each round of that granny square is obviously a different amount of clusters. I'm excited, basically. I'm excited, so let's go ahead and order. Let's order away, okay? So it is called the Red Heart All-in-One Granny Square Yarn. And I just want to know, this is beautiful. That's beautiful. Those are some good colors. Okay, wait, oh my gosh. This is like, it's selling out. Oh no, Red Heart, I want this one. Okay, well, this is sold out. This one's sold out. This one's sold out. Sold out. This one is available. This one right here. Okay, I can get with blues. I can get with it. There is a tiny bit of overlap right here. This is where they're starting the rows, I'm assuming. But other than that, like, it looks really good. From far away, I don't think you'd be able to tell. So, okay, there's only 3 left. I'm gonna get 3, add those to cart. It's already sold out. Okay, so how about we try some other stuff? Apparently I didn't hurry enough. This one is called Lily Pad. It's greens and blues. See, yeah, I'm not sure if they've got it down all the way, but I want to try it still. Okay, I'm gonna try to get 2 of these. And it's already sold out. Why does it say in stock? I'm gonna do a little refresh on the page, see if that does anything. And yes, okay. So looks like we have this one and this one. There's only 3 that are not sold out currently. So there's this one, which is called Soft White. It says there's only 9 left, so if I want to get it, I'm gonna have to hurry. This one is only 5 left. I'm gonna try to get this one for sure. Okay, that one actually went into my cart this time. Next, maybe this one. I'm gonna try to get 2 of those. And that went into my cart as well. And this one, I don't really vibe with the colors, but I'm gonna grab 1 of them, okay? Yeah, I'm gonna check out really fast because I don't want to lose these. So, catch you later. My order is being processed and it went through. Okay, so I ended up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skeins. I really wanted some of the other colors, but they're all sold out. Like I said, I think everyone is fiending to get this because it is a really cool concept. Or maybe they just didn't think it was gonna go crazy and they didn't make a ton of stock. So either way, seems like it's a pretty big success. The total was $59.95 and I paid $10 for shipping. So overall I paid $69.95. $70 US dollars for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skeins of yarn. I didn't have any discount codes or anything like that, so we just bought them. We just bought them all, and they're on the way. So when they get here, we will continue. Look at that! I have a package. All right, guys. So we placed our yarn order on the 14th, and I actually got this package yesterday. I just didn't pick it up until today. So yesterday was the 18th, so it took 4 days to get here. I think the shipping is great. I just picked standard shipping. I didn't pay any extra or anything like that. Let's open this baby up. I mean, I'm hoping it's the granny square yarn. I got an email that it was on the way, and then I got this box, so I'm assuming that this is the yarn. Yep. Okay. Here's our first color set. It's kind of giving bi flag, but not really. Wow, okay. This color is Black Hyperviolet Noir. Oh, those are just the other languages. Okay, this color is called Black Hyperviolet. I think the yarn label is super cute. Yarn inspirations, red heart, granny, all in one square. And then this little girl on here, so cute. I mean, not a little girl, but you know, she's like little, she's a little nice. Anyway, here's what the colors look like. It feels very standard red heart. It's pretty soft. It's a worsted weight yarn. It recommends a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook and 5 millimeter needles. This right here says 1 skein can make 14 granny squares. Okay? No color switching. Keep on stitching. Oh, the picture of the girl with this granny square vest is the pattern that's on the inside of the yarn label. So that's cool. Okay, anyway, I bought 2 of these color. The next color that I got is called Black Carnation Code. Here's what it looks like. It's got the same granny square vest on the cover. Very cute, very fun. I think that I like this colorway better than the other colorway, just because it looks fun. I love pink. Pink and orange go really good together as well. And there's a little bit of purple in here. These are all my favorites. Okay. Last but not least, I got 1 of these, and this is called Soft White Shadow. It's just all white, cream, and gray colors with a little bit of black. Looks really cute. It has the same pattern on it as well. Well, okay, this one, I wouldn't say this is cute. It's definitely more toned down, kind of classy. Still good though, nothing wrong with it. I just love making cute things. All right, so here's all of them. I got 5 in total. I got 2 of this color, 2 of this color, and 1 of this color. Here they are. Da, 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 da. Each one of these is said to make 14 granny squares. So it says to use a 5.5. And then in the videos that I've seen in their advertising, whenever they make granny squares, I've seen that they are doing a chain 1 in between every cluster. I don't really like doing a chain 1 in between my clusters. I think that it's going to take some trial and error on what hook size works perfectly for these so that the colors align just right. I think that everyone is going to have to kind of try to test that out, especially with their tension and stuff. It says that with a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, you should be able to make a 4x4 square, which is 12 single crochets wide and 15 rows long. It'll take some testing, but I'm gonna figure it out, okay? Because I want my granny squares to look amazing. I am totally excited to do this, but right now it's December 19th and I have some Christmas presents to work on, so I'm not gonna do it today, but I just thought we would do the fun unboxing and then we'll get into the rest later. It'll be really soon for you, obviously, but for me, it'll be a little bit later, so I'll see you around. All right, it's been some time. It's now January, so happy 2024, everyone. I am done being busy, so now we're going to finally try our Red Heart Granny in a square, Granny all in one square yarn. For me, it's been quite a while since I opened these. So I'm going to attempt to make my squares. I think that I'm gonna have to like try out a few different hook sizes, make sure everything is like vibing with the tension and stuff. The first hook that I'm going to start with is the recommended hook size on the yarn skein, which is a 5.5 millimeter hook. And well, believe it or not, I don't know where my 5.5 is in my beloved Clover Amora hooks. So I guess I'm just gonna have to use like a regular one, maybe. Whoop. Let's see what we've got here. 6.5, 4.25, 5, 5, 6.5, 5, 6. The heck? Okay, if I ever need a 5 or a 6, I just have 100 of them. Are we serious right now? Wait, are we for real? We're gonna check the other side too. But the other side is just mostly like small hooks. There we go. I found one after looking through everything else. 5.5. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open this because I want to read the instructions for this pattern. I want to read how exactly they are making the square. I was thinking about this. How do they want us to start it? Because like sometimes when you do like a magic ring, or let's say like you do a chain 2 and then work in the first chain or something, like the leftover amount of yarn varies quite a bit. So I feel like that's going to be a little bit of a struggle to line it up correctly, you know? All right. Okay, so this says to do a chain 4, join with a slip stitch to form your ring. I don't like doing that. I don't like it. So this goes light pink-ish color, darker pinky purple color, orange, lighter pink, hot pink color, and then black. So it is the cream color, purpley color, orangey color, pinky color, and then the black. Okay, so if this starts exactly in the center, then we should be fine. Okay, so this is how it says to make a granny square. It says, with color 1, chain 4, join with a slip stitch to the first chain to form a ring. Chain 6, 3 double crochet, chain 3 times in your ring. 2 double crochets and then join with a slip stitch. Yikes. Okay, but how many chains? So they're doing 3 chains in the corner and a chain in between. That hurts me. I am being so annoyingly picky right now, aren't I? Aren't I? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just like doing things my way. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a magic circle because that's what I want to do. And this is like generally how much yarn I would leave out. I usually just like, you know, have it 1.5 inches or so past my hand, and then I'll do my circle, put it on. I think maybe I could chain 2 at the corners. I usually chain 1. You guys know that I do not like to waste time. I'll chain 2 at the corners and see if that works. I am also not going to be chaining 1 in between the clusters of 3 like it says to do, because I love making things more difficult, you know? I think that whole like chain 6 thing is super weird. Okay, so this is what we've got going. And I'm so close to the color change on the purple. So like maybe if I just made my centerpiece like longer, maybe. I don't wanna pull it out. All right, let's see how this works. Okay, oh yeah, I need to remember to chain 2 at corners, and I already forgot. I mean, the pattern says to chain 3, but I refuse. All right, that lined up pretty much perfectly. Now we'll see if the second row lines up perfectly. If I end up having too much purple, I might have to size up my hook maybe. But also whenever I start the round, I am doing a stacked single crochet instead of the chains that it says to do in the pattern, so that might help me with some of the yarn displacement, I guess. Yeah, I have far too much purple left. This is where the color changes. So that will just not work for me, unfortunately. Okay, I think we should try sizing up to a 6mm instead of the 5.5, and I'll see how that goes. All right, I got my 6. Thankfully, we're back to my comfortable Clover Moore hooks. Do my magic circle. Gonna make my first square and hope this works out. I'm chaining 2 on my corners. There we go. That worked out very, very nicely. Now we'll do the second row. No, okay. I forgot to chain 2 at the corners. So we're going back. Yeah, okay, yeah. This is the color change right here. So I think we could say that worked out. Yeah. All right, let's do our third row. See where that takes us. Chain 2, chain 2. Not 1. Ooh. See the color change right there? I have 1 stitch left. So, was I doing it too loose? I don't want that. In order to fix this one singular pink stitch at the end, I'm just gonna pull out a couple clusters, crochet them a little bit tighter, and that should work out, I think. So that fixed the last double crochet that I need to do. The color change is right here where we need to do the chain 2 for the corner, so I guess I'll just do the chain 2 with the hot pink color, and we will be moving on to our next row. All of the colors seem to have like a little tiny bit of bleeding of like the black dye, like this. All of the colors like have like tiny splotches of black throughout them. I don't know if that's on purpose. I feel like it's probably not, but I mean, I don't think it's a big deal at all, really. I'm gonna chain 2 on all of my corners. I'm not chaining 1 in between my clusters. Let's keep a nice and consistent tension. Looking at the yarn, I feel like I don't have enough pink, but maybe I'm just scared. Maybe I have too much pink. I'm very not a good judgment of how much yarn a project needs. But just by looking at it, I'm really bad at that. Although I do think I'm gonna run out of pink. Yeah, I'm gonna run out of pink. Okay, I have 1 whole cluster left to do, and I'm already on the black. Okay. I can't just have 1 black cluster in this row of pink. So once again, I'll have to pull out stuff and stitch tighter. But I feel like my tension is like pretty consistent. The pink row might even be a little bit tighter than the other rows. And I gotta do it even tighter. Currently, I am trying to decide if I should care about it this much. As in, like, should I be pulling out my stitches and redoing them and changing the tension just so that the colors line up perfectly, or should I just make a 1 black cluster in this row of pink? Because I pulled out all of these stitches. I crocheted them a little bit tighter. I didn't want to do them like a lot tighter because that wouldn't look very good overall. But this is where my color changes, and I still need to make 2 more stitches plus a chain 2, and I don't want them to be black. It is not time to change to black yet. Maybe I am too picky. I guess I'm just gonna take out the entire row and crochet it all a little bit tighter instead of just the last 2 sides. Okay, all right, here we go again. I wonder if I was making this, you know, exactly the way the pattern says to make it, maybe it would work out just like perfectly. Maybe I am ruining everything with my pickiness. Picky about the yarn starting in the wrong place, but also picky about the way that I make granny squares. The yarn itself feels nice. It's pretty much regular Red Heart, but I think the texture of Red Heart kind of varies sometimes. I'd say this one is particularly smooth feeling. Okay, I think I can live with that. Like half of the last stitch is black, and then the chain 2 will obviously have to be black as well, but I think that's good enough. It's good enough. Let's move on. And the black round should be our last round. So. Again, I'm like scared I'm not gonna have enough black yarn. Oh, it's all bunched up. I'm not gonna have enough. That's kind of crazy. And that's a lot too. Like, I understand that in the last row we did, the pink row, we didn't have enough pink, so half of the last stitch is black, and then the 2 chains right here are black. So we used a little bit of the black on the end of the last row, but that's, if it were exactly in the right spot, that's still definitely not enough to make 4 more double crochets plus the 2 chains to connect the round completely. Like, that's quite a bit right there, yeah? I'm not gonna leave it like that. That looks stupid. yes, I did size up my hook to a 6, right? But I also am not doing a chain 1 in between each cluster like it says to do in the pattern. And I'm also only chaining 2 at my corners instead of 3 like it says to do in the pattern. So I guess I will take out all of my black stitches and attempt to go around and crochet with a tighter tension and see if I can make up for 4.5 stitches plus 2 chains. 2 chains. Yeah, so okay, that's what I'm gonna do, I guess. This sucks. I'm even gonna pull back a little bit farther into the pink, see if I can make this tighter so that I can use all of my black yarn. All right, here we go. I'm already doing better for sure. So it went all the way around except for the chain 2, which would have to be in the white. I'll call it good though. I'll go ahead and do the chain 2 and cut it off. This is also a part that's questionable because, like, how much are you supposed to cut off? You know? How much do you need of this white to start the next square? Like what's a reasonable amount? I think this is pretty reasonable. Okay, well, I think it's been like 30 minutes and we finished our first square, and it's not even perfect, but we did it. Let's see if we can make another one. So the tension through this is definitely not the same. The center rows are definitely bigger, looser, and then as I got out I had to crochet tighter. I don't know if you can tell just kind of by like the way that it's folding like this. Like the black row is definitely tighter than the center rows. It will flatten out. I don't really block things because I'm a lazy little baby, but it will block out just fine. I mean, if I just like flatten it out, it'll look fine anyway. You know, can you tell that these rows of black stitches are tighter than the center rows, and they just get smaller and smaller? And the color changes were pretty spot on the center and the second row, and then they started getting off on the orange row and the pink row, and then lastly the black row. But okay, let's make another one. I have like an urge to pull out the yarn and see how consistently sized each color section is, but I won't do that. I'm sorry. Or maybe you're welcome. That might be obnoxious. And I don't have enough yarn, and I don't have enough yarn. I don't have enough yarn. I'll just make the magic circle tiny. I still don't have enough yarn. This is how far I'm getting, right? I have 1 double crochet left and a chain 2. This is the end of my magic circle. That's pretty short. I'm gonna try it again. Maybe crochet tighter, maybe make this a little bit shorter even. So did I cut my end too long on my first square then? Because this dug in to my start on my next square. And I mean, this is only like, I don't know, 6 inches. That's not a lot, especially if you're having to like weave in your ends. Like, you need a good amount of yarn to weave in and tie off, you know? At least I think so. I don't know. Okay, I made it barely. Barely, barely, barely. The chain 2 will still have to be purple, but at least all my stitches are the same color. And then this is the end that I have to weave in my magic circle. So at least it gets longer when you close up the circle, but still, that's all I got. Next row. And I have just slightly too much yarn. I've already done my chain 2. About to connect the round. It's alright. It's alright. I'm just gonna continue. Kind of the same thing on the orange row. I have gone around and I still have like just a little bit of orange, but that's okay. I will continue anyway. Maybe if I had fixed it on the last row with the orange and the purple, then it wouldn't have gone over on the pink. It'd probably be perfect. But I'm just going with the flow, really, I guess. I don't want to have to keep pulling out rows and trying to change my tension. I want to just crochet a granny square and not have to think about changing my tension every row, you know? That's perfect. That one was perfect. Got all my rows and the chain 2 in pink, so that lined up very well. All right, last row, black. Let's see if we have enough black this time. Okay, so this ended in about the same spot that my last one ended. I finished my black right on my last double crochet. So whenever I do the chain 2 to connect this corner, it's gonna have to be in the white, just like this one. So I mean, that's interesting, I guess. But I didn't have to pull out any rows on this one this time. So that's better. I think that my tension is more consistent throughout, so that's good. And I think it's getting better. I think it's getting smoother. Maybe that one was just like, you know, the center of the skein, and as we keep going it'll get better. Anyway, I did the chain 2. It is done in white, and now I will cut off my yarn. I guess I'm gonna cut it a little bit shorter than I did last time because I want to have enough to start my next square, but here it is. Second square finished. So I have 2 out of 14. And here they are. Yep. I think the first one is like the tiniest bit bigger, but you know, if you're a responsible crocheter and block them, then you won't have any problems, but I'm not. I want to make all 14 squares, so yeah, I mean, I guess let's do that. It is getting dark outside, so unfortunately we're going to be losing light, but I'm going to keep working on this. Hopefully we can finish all 14 squares. I'll let you know any updates, but I think maybe from here it'll be smooth sailing. I'm not sure. I feel like some squares are going to be really smooth sailing and fine, and then some squares I'm going to have to do that thing where I try to line it up and I'll pull out some stitches, redo the stitches tighter or looser maybe, I don't know, but we'll see just like how it goes. I think maybe starting the square and making sure that your color changes are lined up where they need to be is going to be the hardest part, but hopefully after you have lined up the color matches on the first row, you shouldn't really have to deal with it again, I think. I feel like whether or not this specific yarn is worth it. Just maybe depends on how much you hate weaving in ends. Okay, so this time I did all of the rows plus the chain 2, but only my second chain is white this time. Okay, well, let's go ahead and slip stitch that, finish it up. And there we go, finished my third square. I want to show you guys what I'm being picky about. So if you see, like, you know, this row is purple, right? The next row, this is where it starts, and you see how, like, there's a tiny bit of purple right here before the orange starts. And then on this row, there's like a tiny bit of orange just right here before the pink starts. That is what's bothering me. And on the black row, there's a tiny bit of pink here before the black starts. And I still ran out of black, so great. But it's just, it bugs me. The orange, not a big deal. But whenever there are two very big contrasting colors, like this one is big, but this one is not as big, but it's still not great. Orange and pink kind of just like flow together, but it bugs me. I know that it's not really a big deal, especially if you're going to be like, you know, putting these together into a bag or a vest or whatever. Like, you're not going to be able to see that unless you're really looking, but it still bugs me because I like stuff to be really perfect. But I know that it doesn't really matter. Whoever is going to be wearing it is not going to notice. Only I will notice. So here we are. I've done my 3 squares. I think they look real good together. This could be a very, very cute granny square bag. I am going to now just be working on finishing all 14 from the skein. Right now it's 4:45. I think this is gonna take me all night if I even finish the other 11 squares. I think it depends on, you know, how annoying the color changes are being in the yarn. But overall, it's much faster because you don't have to stop in between rounds every time and cut off your yarns and then get on a new yarn and stuff like that. It's much easier because all I have to bring with me whenever I go and watch TV and make the rest of the squares is this one little, just one skein, you know? Instead of 5 different full-size skeins that I have to lug around with me just to make a square, you know? So that is super convenient. And it's also much better on my fingers because whenever I am making squares that have a bunch of color changes, I always will try to weave in my ends as I go. So I'm constantly like tying knots. And whenever I tie knots, I try to tie them as tightly as possible. So like I wrap it around my fingers and then I pull as hard as it can be because I have like a big fear of things unraveling. So by the time I'm like making multiple granny squares and tying that many knots, my fingers are like raw. So far, it definitely has benefits, but there are some very slight drawbacks, obviously. It's been 2 hours. I'm making pretty good progress. I have 9 squares done. Here they are. I think it is working out better as I keep going. All right, I just finished the entire skein. Here's all my squares. I want to count them because on the label it says it'll make 14. I just want to make sure we have 14. And then I also made it, this was the end of the skein. It just made like a little half square. I knew that all the colors weren't there. I don't know why I made it. I just did. It's currently 7:45. I'm pretty sure I started this around 3:45. So it's taken me 4 hours, but I did take a little bit to get it rolling in the beginning. So, you know, maybe the next skein that I do will take less than 4 hours, but who knows. So I actually have 15. Yeah, I actually have 15 squares. So, all right, on here it says 1 ball will make 14 squares. I ended up with 15 and a half. So that's great, honestly. I will say, while I was working with it, it did get easier. There was a few times that I had to frog and redo, but that was only a couple of the squares. as I continued through the skein, a lot of the squares were just like straightforward. I didn't have to stop crocheting at all. I didn't have any problems or anything like that. I would 100% buy the yarn again, for sure. I'm definitely going to use all the skeins that I have purchased. And yeah, now I just need to get like all the colors. I personally love granny squares. I love how they look. I really love the granny squares that change colors every row. And I just don't do it often because I am really lazy. I am so lazy. So like this is honestly, I think, perfect for me. I'll see you when we try out the other colors, okay? Hey friends, it has been 2 days. I've been working with this yarn. And so, yeah, the yarn is great. Really, I finished this colorway skein. This one also yielded 15 squares, which fantastic. I have a feeling they're all gonna give you 15 squares. They just put 14 on the skeins so that like you could 100% expect to get 14, but you might get 15 sometimes, you know? But I like 15. It's just like it's a nice number. Anyway, here's what this colorway looked like, turned out. This one was my least favorite colorway whenever I was buying them, but I think it's growing on me. I think maybe I'll turn it into like a scarf or something with like maybe like a black outline or a gray outline and maybe like some tassels or something. I don't know. But this skein was actually quite a bit easier to work with than the first one. Interestingly enough, every time I went to start a square and finish a square, I had extra yarn instead of how on the first one you saw we were kind of struggling like with finishing off the black. I wasn't having enough black, and then I would have to go into this really light pink color, and then whenever I would start the next square I wouldn't have enough light pink because I just used it to finish off my last square. But anyway, on this one I always had extra white at the end, and then I always had a bunch of extra black at the beginning of my next square. So I thought that was interesting. It was a lot more helpful, I think. I just think that some of the skeins are going to be like that, but either way, they both made 15 squares and they work out really well. And then I also started working on my third colorway, which is this one here. I think this one, no, I was gonna say this one is my favorite, but it's not. The first one that we did is my favorite. But this one turned out really well, super easy to work with, just like the white, gray, black one. The hardest one happened to be the first one, and I'm thinking it's just because I wasn't used to it yet and I had to sort of like figure out my methods. But once we got it figured out, it's been very easy to work with. So this one also gave 15 squares, and I'm happy about this because I think maybe I can like combine these since they both have the black outline. Maybe I can like build something up with both of them, mix them up. Anyway, I have just actually edited this video and I feel like I talked a lot. So I'm not going to talk much right now except for all this blabbing that I'm doing currently. Overall, my experience with the yarn was great. It was a little bit hard in the beginning, hard to figure out, but once you get it figured out, it's easy from then on. I think it's totally worth it. I would love to buy again. I will be buying again for sure. And I'm gonna give it like an 8 out of 10. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I think 8 is high, you know? Like, I would definitely recommend it if you would like to try it, for sure. I don't have any codes or anything like that. I mean, you saw, I bought this myself. So that is all. I really hope that Red Heart continues to produce this yarn and it stays on the shelves, you know? I hope it's not a limited time offer. And if it is, maybe I'll just go crazy and buy a ton of it. Anyway guys, that's all I have for you. I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Let me know if you have tried this yarn, if this video made you want to buy the yarn maybe, or if you hate this yarn. I want to hear it. Tell me. Give it to me. Let me know. Here's to a great 2024 for everyone. Thanks for being around, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!